I think that most important thing on the game was the first half. The first half, considering the strong attitude we brought in the pitch, the quality of football we played throughout all the first half, the dynamic, control, the dominance. It's not easy to motivate a team to play this way after you win away 5-1 and you basically seal the qualification. Obviously, that I didn't want ever to speak about that, but it's clear when you win 5-1, it's a big difference. On this level for another team to be able to come back on the result. But the attitude was very professional throughout all the week. We knew we wanted to score goals, we wanted to win again, we wanted to score points for the CAF ranking. We want to highlight the football of Mamelodi Sundowns and the quality of the players. We wanted to highlight the work we are doing in terms of growing the team. We wanted to highlight the football in South Africa, of course. So after you at halftime you are winning 2-0, then the objectives on the match change a little bit, considering the management of the players, bringing on the pitch players that need extra motivation and giving them minutes. I think that the objectives that we had for these matches were almost all accomplished. Even taking out Keanu when he was with or trying to avoid that he could get injured. So management of the game. Obviously, the quality dropped in second half, what is absolutely understandable. But congratulations for the players. These players made a wonderful qualification for the CAF Champions League group stage. And obviously, they need my congratulations regarding the character they put it from the first minute of the first match and throughout all the qualifying round.
Thank you for the take questions on the floor. Please introduce yourself. You can start from the left or my right going there.
And songs ESPN Africa. Coach, you alluded to the fact that you were able to give minutes to some players. It feels like a lot of the year that the schedule works against you because of how many fixtures you have coming thick and fast. But now this period of 2 weeks, it's actually working for you in a way. You haven't had the midweek fixture. You don't have a midweek fixture now, and then you've also had this opportunity to rotate the team, as you said. Do you expect that that's going to make a huge difference to the level of performance we see in you in the weeks to come?
It's obviously an interesting question, and these weeks were important because basically now we have another almost full week to play on Saturday, but then we're gonna play two matches in one week. Basically, it's Saturday, Wednesday, and probably in the weekend again. I say probably because we are trying to schedule a match, and then we go for the international break again. Obviously, it was important to have these 2 weeks. I don't remember to have worked on a full cycle, a week cycle, so for a long time, quite a long time. I think that only in the beginning of the season we had a real full week cycle when between the first match with Richards Bay and then the first championship match. And we had availability of the players, so our players were all present so that we could train with the entire group. And sometimes people don't understand, and I want to clarify or make it clear. It's that when you have the entire group training, it means that the level of the trainings becomes higher because the quality of the players, or all the quality of the highest quality players, they are there, and that brings obviously the level of the training sessions high. It's not the same when we, for example, well, tomorrow we're going to play a friendly match, but imagine tomorrow we have the players that didn't play today and we call players from Diski and we make a joint training session. It's not the same because the level of the boys is not the same. So the level of the session drops, the challenges are not the same. So having the possibility to train with all the group not only allows you to work the dynamics that you want to have on the team, but also brings up high quality in the sessions, what obviously is quite challenging, and it's from there that development happens on the teams. Let's hope that we can bring that performance for the next 2 weeks. They are very important for us, of course, considering the championship matches that we have to play ahead.
Coach, Botato from Open Radio. Coach, does a team like Remo Stars give you that challenge for the players to be able to test them and see the quality that you have, even going further into the group stages? Because of from someone like me, when I sit and I watch the game like today, it didn't that look like they brought much to the table. That they were a team that's hungry to win, hungry to play, hungry to want to prove a point, but they just came to perhaps just come and honor the fixture. Does a team like this like give you an eye to see your team and what it can actually really do?
Look, I will try to use a metaphor. I hope you understand. But if I would take the microphone from your hands, and you would like to speak, probably would not be listened. I'm sure that Remo Stars came here to play, but we didn't allow them to have the ball. We took the ball out of them, and then it's obviously much difficult to play the game they would like to play. We made a fantastic first half with very beautiful football, with total control, using the spaces that were available on the pitch. And I told you that during the week, and I will tell again. It seems that every time that Mamelodi Sundowns plays beautiful football, people don't like to relate with that. I don't know what's happening, but it seems that it's not an intention to just make a normal evaluation on what happens on the pitch when we play. Now today was a beautiful match again, especially first half. Obviously, the second one, the quality dropped, the control of the match dropped, and I don't relate so much with the second half, but first half, total control of the pitch with high speed ball circulation, with a lot of entrances on the box. And we scored twice. We could have scored more. And I think we saw fantasy. We saw Mamelodi Sundowns style of playing on the pitch. We saw a lot of commitment from everybody. And that obviously that makes me happy and makes the players excited. And I think they were so excited they even in some moments didn't took to the limit the possibility of going aggressive to score more and more. But that is the work they did. I congratulate them again, because I think that the team was very serious on the approach we had for the match. We spoke about that several times during the week. Today we reset it again, the attitude. Well, we use some images. That is not important to exactly tell why, but we use some images about what are the values that we have to take always on the pitch, and how we have to be committed together in order to keep on pushing and pushing and pushing. And I think that Mamelodi Sundowns fans also deserved today a very good compromise from everybody, so that we would not make of this game just passing a walk, but a commitment, a good match. And we feel very excited to play here, of course. We feel excited to play in front of our fans in this stadium. It's always beautiful to play in such a beautiful and big stadium, where the fans also feel like home. We are in Pretoria, basically, where Mamelodi Sundowns has grown identity also. The pitch was okay, not perfect, but much better than we had already in the past, what allows us also to... But it's clear that throughout the match it becomes worse and worse, and also it's normal that it has some impact on the quality of the game. But I think mission accomplished. I totally understand what you put on as question, but I think we understood the challenges, and it was more our credit and merit to really the way we played, rather than Remo Stars that didn't want. It's sometimes it's also like that.
Congrats on the group stages. After such a dominant performance, you maybe the back of mind feel a little bit that there was a missed opportunity to put a weak team to the sword in terms of scoring more goals, also looking at the bigger picture of what's coming at the weekend against Pirates.
Match of Pirates is gonna be start to be prepared after tomorrow, no, tomorrow morning. Until now, we just thought about this match. We took very serious the challenge of winning again to Remo Stars, and we wanted to win again. So the lineup we put it, the players we put it on the pitch, they have to do with winning the game today, and managing the squad in terms of motivation, and also keep some quality inside the pitch, so that we could always challenge. Obviously, that mentally, when you are winning 7-1, because in aggregate it was 7-1, it's normal that something drops. We cannot ask the team to keep. Well, we can, but I don't like, but I understand that obviously the intensity drops. A very hot day also, and it's normal when you introduce many players. The goals that we scored were enough for us to win. Of course, that we could have scored more if we were a little bit more aggressive on the last third, putting more numbers in, especially in the last 20 minutes, probably could have scored more. But I totally understand that when we are winning 7-1, it's not exactly that, like, keep on pushing and pushing and pushing, because some of them start managing the game time and their fatigue, so that they don't expose themselves to injuries, something like that. and others still want to come inside on the pitch. They are fresh. They want to probably be more aggressive, and that even in sometimes brings some conflict inside the pitch. But what I mean conflict is football conflict, not. But it's totally understandable, and we are very happy with the performance the team had on these two matches. What's going to happen after is another story.
Before you go, Mazola, there's no weak team at Sundowns. There's no French players. You can go ahead.
Coach, I don't know if you thought about it at all, but you're going to travel a very sort of lonely road now as the sole team in South Africa that's representing the country in the Champions League as opposed to last season with the arrival of the London Pirates. I just wanted to ask if you feel that impacts the competition level of the domestic league and just in general the national team and Sundowns players stepping up the level, because in comparison to last season, a lot of people's opinions that both teams were quite at a high level because they were Champions League and title race and the national team as well. That's not going to be the case this time around. I wonder if you have an opinion about that.
Look, I think this comes much more from you than rather from me. I need to worry about what's happening inside our house, inside Clorcop, what we do, what we plan together, what we think, how we want to be, the consistency that we need to have. I think in the last 10 years we had 10 group stage participations among, together with Ahli and Esperance. I think is the three teams that have this number of participations. So this is consistency and speaks about the dimension of a club, and was the minimum challenge that we had as a first moment for us in terms of Champions League. Done. Obviously, now we need to wait for the draw and face the group stage with ambition. Every match with a big ambition. We have two matches to play in before we go for the December break. One home, one away, and it's important to have a good start. So, but now it's time to close the Champions League page. Obviously, there are championship matches that are important to be played, and that's what we need to focus. And that's for sure what the players are going to do from tomorrow morning.
We'll take the last question.
Coach, congrats.
So, yeah, last question from you.
Congrats on the emphatic victory, 7-1. It sends a clear message to everyone. I know you have to focus on the Pirates game, but when you talk about the Champions League, what do you want to see before National Celebrate?
Look, well, yesterday I was trying to take a look on the pots that might be organized after the matches that still are going to be played. And obviously the draw will speak a little bit about how the competition may be. But as we saw from the results, and sometimes we think that we're going to play a team that doesn't have a name, but then especially when we play away, it's so difficult. And I would like everybody to remember that last year, probably theoretically the worst team on the group was Maniema, the group we played, and the first match was played home, and there was a draw on that match. What made quite difficult to think about what could happen throughout the competition, especially when you had Asfar and Raja Casablanca on the group. And then, as you also remember, and it was already with me, 5 minutes before the end of the match in Maniema, we were losing 1-0 and we were out of the group stage. And then Peter Shalulili scored 2 goals. The team gave him 2 fantastic balls for him to score, and we went through. And we played the decisive match here with Asfar, and we draw, which was enough for us to go through the group stage and take us then to the way fantastic until up to the final. So what I expect is a draw that can be very tricky. And also can be very difficult, because as I see, there will be teams in pot 3 and pot 4 that have quite powerful football. But even if they will not be on our group, what we just depend on luck, there are teams that don't have such name, but it's quite tricky to play, especially when you go away. So we need to take the competition as serious as it is. Of course, that to play Champions League, you need to bring the game of the level of your game to the limit, to the top, to raise it. Usually, playing Champions League brings the best of the players also up. Play with the responsibility that we have to play, but without any wires that can make us fear or whatever. So feel released, feel excited, play up to the dimension that we have every match, home and away. in such beautiful environments as usually we find when you play in different places in Africa, being on North Africa like Morocco or Egypt or Tunisia or Algeria or Cote d'Ivoire or Tanzania or Angola. This is also beautiful and challenging for the coaches and for the players, that also those games bring up not only difficulties but also the best that you have inside. But as I said, now we have more important, not more important, but more things ahead that are come before. We need to focus on them so that also we arrive on those matches in a comfortable emotional position, and we can also bring the team complete, because emotions also add the football to flow. And if you have good performances and even good better results, you put yourself in a position to face the group stage more comfortable, let's say, more confident, with more belief, and that is obviously very important.
Can we squeeze in last question? Mahlaju, last two questions on Thursday. On Thursday.
Just one.
No.
That's good. Coach, I wanted to ask just an update on Miguel and Nuno's adaptation process. No doubt, two quality players, but obviously with the fact that a foreign league for international players can have its challenges, but they seem to be gelling. How have you worked?
I think that the four players we brought in the team, and I remember this was the market, the smallest market in the five last years for Mamelodi Sundowns. It doesn't mean that it was not good. They have different process of integration. Fawaz is obviously, and I want you to understand the word I'm going to use, struggling with the competition. He's not struggling. All of them are struggling because there's a lot of competition on the position. So T1 is also struggling. Tatu CB is also struggling. And Divine Lunga is also struggling. And Obre is in a very good level in the moment. Let's hope he can continue, but we never know. So our situation is more difficult because of the level of competition there's on the position. Tsiki arrived not in the best place, but we see him develop. I even was thinking that he eventually today would be used, but then we had to manage two substitutions that took the opportunity to also put him in. I wanted him to play. Really, I had planned to put him to play because I think he deserved. He grew a lot in the last 2-3 weeks by approaching to the understanding of the football we want to play, the positioning and the tasks on the position that he plays. He played very good. The minutes he played in the first match of this qualifying round, and he trained very well throughout these 2 last weeks. So I think that he's giving steps towards what we want from him. Then Nun and Miguel, they are in two different positions because unfortunately Miguel lost the opportunity to play more consistently on the team through the fact that he got the red card in the first championship match that he entered. And that took him even out of also today's match to give him more time because basically we know that he cannot play the next two matches. So, and that will delay, of course, his affirmation in the team, not inside but for the outside. Because for inside, everybody understood since the first day he arrived that he's a player that will contribute for the development of the team. He's a quality player that is in the level of Mamelodi Sundowns, so he's completely accepted. I think Nuno is different. Nuno arrived. He played immediately an unfortunate match we had in Marumo. Not Marumo, in Golden Arrows. And then he played home. We won. He got confident. He was man of the match first match he played home. He got confident, and he is more experienced as a foreigner working for abroad. So he had already profit from one experience in the USA. He's an English perfect speaker. That also helps on the relation. So I think the adaptation of both has been very, very nice. The group, fantastic inside the club. Obviously, football speaking, Nuno has been giving more contribute to the situation that comes from one and from the other. But I think the players now are in a good, in general, in a more comfortable position. Let's see if the next games will confirm that. That is very important for us, obviously, that happens.
And then, yeah, we just need to close it because it's been too long, but just quick one.
Question, just the last one. It's just something of interest that I've noticed, and it's not really questioning your decisions or anything like that. I see you've been carefully managing workloads of players, but I can't help but notice that a player like Allende pretty much plays all the time. Just to educate us as to why is that? Because it's only not starting with you, even Coach Rani and Coach back in the day. He used to play almost all the matches. Why is that?
First of all, because Marcelo is a player, and like we usually do, let's believe that nothing will come. But Marcelo is a absolutely injury-free player in general. It doesn't mean that we can abuse, but we also know that Marcelo is a player that usually makes around 12 kilometers per match, which is absolutely fantastic. But curiously, he's a player that can recover very easy from match to match and still play. I think that there are players that when they are submitted to consequent matches, they decrease the performance. Marcelo is a player that when he plays consistently, he keeps the performance. And when you take him out, he decreases it because he needs this stimulus. Of course, that now I think we have more players that can play on his position and keep the level of the team. Today, I decided to take him out. Not that he was bad, but I want to give Jaden and also Albas opportunity to play. Jaden for some matches that was not lined up. That's why we took Marcelo. But if playing week after week after week, in general, people should understand that the team will show more consistent on the lineup. When we play week Wednesday, Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday, eventually we have to manage a little bit, especially when you play on the third day. When you play on the fourth day, our players they are used to recover. It's very very funny because, and going back to your question of full weeks, when we have full weeks, we need to manage the loads more accurately and more carefully rather than when we play in 3 4 days because our players they're not used to train a lot. So usually we even break the cycle in the middle of the week so that they can recover too. Otherwise, they will get more tired from matches rather than from games. From trainings rather than exactly from games. Because I don't think last season I had any full week. Obviously, that unfortunately it comes also from the fact that we lost on the MTN8 Cup immediately on the first match on penalties. What takes us out some competition, but also allows us, obviously, in a moment that also national team is playing and there's competition ahead, to provide the players the conditions for them to perform either on us, either in the future, and until now on the national team, what is obviously very, very good because I feel proud of the work the boys do here and also there, of course.
Thank you, Coach Mohal. I'm sorry we have to close it here, my friends. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
You want another question?
You want to kill the coach now with too many questions, eh?